time for a little lights, camera, McCarthy.
Yeah.
Kev, Wu-Tang.
Oh, I'm excited. So
yeah, I know you're excited.
I've had tickets to this show for months. I'm going tonight. Wu-Tang, Nas, and De La Soul playing Capital One Arena tonight. I cannot wait. Nas is one of my favorite rappers of all time. His new record, Magic 3, is ridiculous. He's had 6 classics in like 5 years.
An icon, he is.
Brilliant. King's Disease 3 is his best since Illmatic, in my opinion. Anyways, so Wu-Tang will be here tonight. Yeah. We all know the RZA, an incredible artist. I remember buying Bobby Digital when I was a kid. It was an album that really kind of opened my eyes to hip-hop, and it was very cinematic. It was a character that he was playing. And so I found out he was coming to D.C. clearly. Just like the Matthew McConaughey interview, I reached out to RZA's publicist, and he was able to set this up. But originally, RZA was only going to be on audio because he was on his tour bus on the way to D.C. But I said, can we get on video and just show him on the bus? Yeah. So the interview you're about to see is yesterday, RZA and I going one-on-one while he was driving from North Carolina to D.C. for the show tonight. And I have a little special guest appearance in the interview as well. So here's my one-on-one with RZA, who's playing D.C. tonight and talking about 30 years since 36 Chambers. Absolutely insane. Take a look. So, I mean, I have to start off just by asking the obvious question. We're looking at a video of you right now. I see the trees behind you. You're on your way to D.C. How's the tour been going? Where are you coming from right now? And are you looking forward to the D.C. crowds?
Yeah, man, look, D.C. is to me like our cousin. You know what I mean? You know, I never forget Wu-Tang in the early days, you know, going up to Howard University to the homecomings and, you know, building our fan base from that, you know, from that moment, and then always coming back to the city of D.C., getting a lot of love. I'm pulling up now, heading in from, basically from North Carolina to head up to you guys. And we did Tampa Bay last night, which was pretty fun, you know. It was a very interesting crowd out there, you know, jumping in. The stage was set up in front of a big pool. So people were doing flips in the pool, yo.
During the show, people were flipping into a pool?
Yeah, yo, it was a very unique one. But the tour's been great. You know, this is date like, well, on this leg, DC will be our 4th date, but for the year, I think we up into maybe date number 36, 37, yo. So we've been running.
You know, I want to ask you, obviously it's been 30 years since 36 Chambers, 25 years since one of my favorite albums of all time, Bobby Digital, because that album was one of the first albums I ever bought. I got the vinyl now with the green vinyl, which is so awesome. But, you know, you look back on 36 Chambers, which was 30 years ago, you're out on the road 30 years later performing these songs for audiences. And over time, music, obviously the music stays the same, but the way we interpret it changes because as we get older, we go through life experiences and those songs hit differently. So I'm wondering for you, when you're performing these songs 30 plus years later, how different they feel to you, what meanings have changed? Like, are there songs that have taken on different meanings to you as an artist as you go through these years?
That's an interesting question. But Kevin, I think that personally, I think 36 Chambers was like the capturing of youth, right? The capturing of young minds and young experiences growing up in, you know, urban communities, American communities, the rebellious, bring the ruckus, you know what I mean? You know, be honest, the weed smoking vibe of Method Man, you know, so the youth energy, I think, is always healthy no matter what year you're in your life. And so when I get a chance to get on stage and perform these songs, I actually feel re-energized with youthful energy.
So in the 90s, you guys released 36 Chambers in 93, and obviously everything from there just goes forward. But one of the big shows back then was a show called Rap City. Obviously a big show. And I do an afternoon show here in the DC area at 3 o'clock, and my co-host on that show was the host of Rap City at that time. Do you remember a gentleman named Joe Claire?
Joe, what up, kid?
What's good?
What up, Joe? Hope my camera ain't freezing right now.
Nah, you great. What's good?
Peace, family. Yo, you look great, man. You looking great.
We look great. This is my guy. This is my guy. We're here every day together. Let me tell you, he's such a fan. He's such a fan, like, of the culture and what we do. like it's super serious. It's like, that's why he was like, I'm about to interview the RZA. I said, oh, well, let me pull up and show him what it really is.
I was saying, I see you got the tie on, looking great, y'all. Know what's so beautiful about hip hop? The evolution.
Yeah.
Right? You know, I said something last night. I share with you guys' audience right now. You know, hip hop is 50 years old, right? But to me, it's still a baby. It's the beginning of its cycle. It's not the end of it.
All right, that is RZA, and we're going to have more from our interview on DMV Zone later today at the 3 o'clock hour. We're also going to have Matthew McConaughey joining us to talk all about the Commanders and his brand new book, Just Because. The Wu-Tang and Nas show is tonight. Also got to mention De La Soul. The legendary De La Soul is going to be there as well. I'm very excited. I've never seen Wu-Tang live. I've never seen Nas live. Been listening to Nas since the 90s, and I'm very excited to see him tonight. But his last 6 have been ridiculous. But RZA, if you haven't heard Bobby Digital, it's one of my favorite albums of all time.
Nobody spits like Nas, though.
Nas is
and
the greatest.
He's such a smart rapper that it'll be great. It'll be incredible to see him in person. I can't wait to hear about it tomorrow.
I just can't believe, I mean, I go back to his beef with Jay-Z when they did Ether and Takeover. Ether was like one of the best diss tracks of all time. But these last 6 albums that Nas has been putting out with Hit Boy are some of the best rap I've heard in a long time.
He's only getting better.
Yeah, and we'll have more from RZA. He talks a lot about Nas, who's on the tour with Wu-Tang. So stay tuned for that. And thank you to RZA for getting on the video. That was originally supposed to be an audio interview, and he was so cool to hold his phone and do it for us. So
thank you, Kev.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Great one.